Hi friends, it's Becky, and I've had a fairly busy day doing things other than making jewelry today, so I'm just going to pop on real quick with a very short video making an earring out of the Strawberry Fields Jesse James Beads Magical Mystery Beads box. I haven't made anything with this yet. I have other plans for other things that I'm going to be making, but I wanted to make a pair of earrings tonight because for the month of April, I'm making a pair of earrings every day for the entire month. And so this is going to be today's earrings. And just to let you know, I will also be uploading a short for this, but go ahead and watch the long video if you're not able to watch shorts, because some folks aren't, and that's totally fine because I'm making both. Anyway, so what I'm going to be using is one of these really pretty glass leaves with this iridescent sheen on it. I'm going to be using one of these teeny tiny strawberry charms. I'm also going to be using this pink disco bally glittery bead, one of these very light blue rondelles, and there were two different sizes of this kind of rondelle. This is the smaller one, and some ear wires from the box to make things a little bit easier. And the only thing I'm adding is about 4 inches of 20 gauge rose gold color craft wire. This is actually the German style craft wire from Bead, and that's what I had on my shelf, so I'm going to be using that one with these, and it actually goes really well color-wise with the rest of all of this. So that's what I'm going to be using for that. I have some flush cutters for cutting my wire, and I'm going to be shaping my wire using my 6-step bail making pliers. If you don't have 6-step bail making pliers, you can still do this with like a round nose plier. The big thing is that I'm going to be making a fairly large loop, and so if you're using a round nose plier, you'll want to make that loop as far up the barrel as you can because it's going to be about the same size as this. You can also use other round things that might fit the same, like a pencil, like a regular pencil, not a mechanical one, would be a good fit for this as well. Or yeah, no, that would work. That would work if you don't have the width on there for that. But I'll show you why I'm using that in just a little bit. I've also got some chain nose pliers that I'm going to be using for this, and that's mostly for tucking in the wire and for closing up this at the end of the start of it. So I'm going to take my craft wire, and about 2.5, 2 inches from the top, I am going to find the 6th step down. So if I start at the small one, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th step, not 6th, because obviously I know how to count. 4th step. It's also the 3rd step up from the back. So if you start at the top with the big one, 1, 2, 3, it's that one. So that's the one that I'm going to be wrapping around. You can either bend the wire before you start this way, so that your loop is centered, but I'm just going to go ahead and bend it back away from the part that I am going to be wrapping around, and then push it around there with my finger. Rotate the pliers and keep going around until it crosses there. And once it's crossed, that's made its loop. And now I'm going to be putting this, the reason I wanted this to be big was so that I could put this leaf on it and also have room for this charm to be able to swing and rest against the leaf nicely. If it's a smaller loop, it might not. The charm might stick out funny. You just want to make sure there's enough room for everybody who's invited to the party on this. So I'm going to slide this guy on here. Actually, let's do it this way. Nope. If I do it that way, I want to put this guy on first. There we go. And always double check that everything is facing the right way before you wrap your loop so that you don't have to cut your wire and start over again. Because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You just gotta cut your wire and start over again, right? It's just beads. All right, so now that I've got those on there, I just use my pliers to swing closed that loop so that it's right next to there. And I'm gonna use my fingers. You can use pliers if you want to swing this wire around. I'm only going to do a couple of wraps, and in the back, and cut off my excess wire with my nippers. And there's a little bit of a pokey-outy bit right there. So I'm just going to tuck that in. Give this a little smoosh. I love smooshing it. There we go. See how nicely that hangs and it dangles, and it's not, you know, sticking straight out or anything like that. It's because I gave it some room to maneuver. And now I have some jangle in my dangle too, which is another one of my favorite things with earrings, is having jangles in my dangles. And that is still really sticky outy, so I'm just gonna cut this a little more flush than it was before. There we go. I feel better about that now. And now I'm gonna put on my sparkly spiky ball. It's like Sputnik. There we go. Spherical, yet quite pointy in places. All right, and then we're gonna put on our roundel for more sparkles, because I love sparkles. And then my lovely light blue roundel up here at the top. And this circle is facing towards me when I'm looking head on. And I want the circle to, or it's facing away from me. I can see the circle here and it's a line here. So I'm going to want the circle to be a line when I'm looking this way for this top part. And when I'm looking at it this way, I want it to be a line. So I'm going to turn this so I can see this circle. Grasp the top of my beads with my chain nose pliers. Bend over the top of it away from me. And that leaves me some space here to wrap my wrap when I finally get around to that. And then I'm just going to use the second smallest loop on my bail making pliers. You could also use your round nose pliers for that. It doesn't have to be as big of a loop as this one down here. And I'm going to pull that around. Keep going all the way to the other side. Adjust it if you need to. And see, that way when I'm looking at it this way, it looks like a lollipop. When I'm looking at it this way, it disappears. And that's the way I want it to be oriented for that. I'm going to hold my loop and do the same thing that I did with the other. Just hold my wire and wrap it around that stem until I get down to my bead. And then when I do, I'm going to cut off my excess wire, tuck it in with my chain nose pliers. I've got a little sticky outy bit here. Whoop. There we go. And now I can attach my ear wire. And this is one of the ones that came in the box. They're fine for my ears, except I have like shallow ears, or they're kind of at an angle, the hole in my ears. So often this type of ear wire will just slip right out of my ears. So I've got some rubber earring backs that in this type of ear wire I definitely will want to put on here to keep it from sliding out of my ears. But for now, I have a nice pair of Strawberry Fields earrings. And like I said, I am going to be making some other things with this box that I have planned. And so you'll be seeing more of that later, just not tonight. I hope y'all are having a great weekend, and I'll talk with you later.